phone, David Pleat was, I mean, I made no secret of the fact, David Pleat was on the phone to my parents and on the phone to me. And listen, Ross, he's a good football guy, you know, and he's a great lad. David Pleat was a great lad. So he was talking to me and I didn't know anything about West Ham. Yeah. So I went down to Luton to sign. My agent or the board of directors and all that, and Luton paid for everything. Yeah. So, and luckily, this big, heavy guy walked in, who was the chairman, and he slapped me in the back of the head. "Welcome to Luton, Macca." And I thought, I said, "Who are you?" And he says, "I'm a chairman." I looked at my agent, and my agent could tell I was raging. I was raging. You know, I didn't know where to shake his hand or put a head in him. It was one of them. So I've looked at me and said, "I'm not signing," and we walked outside. Didn't tell them, but we walked outside and the manager came out at Simon and says, "Look," I said, "I'm not signing." That's put me right off. And you know, apart from that, he wouldn't tell me how much wages I was getting. You know, he was talking to my agent and saying, "Well, with bonuses, this." And I'm saying, "Look, I'm for a councillor's day." Yeah. I says, "Tell me what I'm walking away with at the end of the week. Make it simple." And he couldn't tell me, so I said, "I'm away." And as I walked out, the manager said to me, "West Ham's interested in you." And I says, when would that happen? And he says that he gave Luton first refusal. So if I had signed for Luton, I wouldn't have known about West Ham. No. You know, so God works in mysterious ways. So
he does, yeah.
I met John Lyle. We couldn't tell Luton that I wasn't saying I was going to speak to West Ham because they paid for all the flights.
Yeah, that's right.
Hotel and all that. So I had to wait till they all leave. And my agent and myself jumped in a taxi and I met John, dear old John, at Toddington service station. And on M1 at about 1:45 in the morning or something. It was incredible. Eddie Bailey and John, it was great. And John just sat and spoke to me. You know, as soon as you speak to John, he was telling me what he wanted me to do and how he seen me playing and all that. And he's just a great footballing guy, isn't he? He's a great footballing man, God rest him. So there was no. But I was tired, and I get grumpy when I'm tired. So I was arguing over a couple £100 or something. So John, I went back up the road and I says, "Yeah," and I said, "But I'm not coming down." And my agent got John. John flew up to Glasgow on a flight. I met him at Glasgow Airport at the hotel at Glasgow Airport. Done the signing, subject to. You know, getting fitness tests and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I signed, and John flew back the next flight. So that's what he did. So I thought, he really wants me, and it was great to feel that way. And I had to go down and to do a fitness test, a medical and all that kind of stuff. And I went down, and John picked me up at the airport. And he put it in his book, and I didn't even think about it. And he was driving through London with me, and it was either the Queen or Princess Di or something was out. And so all the streets were all cordoned off. And the big cars, you know, with the flags and all that, driving along. I said to John, "You didn't have to get her out." He said. So John says he knew then that it's something different. So, I like a laugh. Yeah. But as anybody will tell you, any footballer will tell you that's ever played with me, I hate getting beat. Even in training, I must have been a nightmare actually, because I just hate getting beat. It was installed in me I was a worker, I was like you guys, you know, you go do your job, do it right. Yeah. You know, and my dad had that installed in me, so, you know, be the best. If you're going to be a road sweeper, be the best road sweeper you can, you know, that kind of stuff. So, that was in for an early age. So, that was it. That was it. I just wanted to be the best player I could be and take it as far as I could. So, what we talk, I can't remember.
We're talking about,
John. We're talking about John. It was a magnificent. He wanted me to play in behind Paul Goddard and Tony. That was the system that he's seen. Now, I mean, when you think about that wasn't known in the days. Nobody was playing in the whole number 10 position, as they call it nowadays. No. So it was, John was so far ahead of his time. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. All that nonsense that they're doing now, Pep and all that, you know, this high press, They've got new names for everything now.
Yeah.
We done that in the 80s. We done that. You know, I was a trigger, but I'm skipping a wee bit because Paul got injured against Birmingham.
Yeah, he did.
We got beat, and Tuesday night he put me up front with Tony, and it just clicked. You know, and Tony didn't start scoring for about half a dozen games, but it was there. We were going to be a good partnership.
Yeah.
So I was sitting talking to Palmy and Alan McCoy. We're sitting talking, and I'm saying I don't know if any of the boys would get any other teams back then. You know.
Yeah.
And Coyce says, Frank, they wouldn't get through our dressing rooms.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Because our dressing rooms were brutal, but funny, and it was character building. You know, we had some great characters in the dressing room, so everyone was always up to no good, and it was good fun. There was no any malice, and you know, it really was fun.
Yeah.
You know, we enjoyed ourselves in the dressing room. Then, of course, the second time I was there,
exactly.
Justin Flash knew was in the dressing room, and we all knew what Justin was, but he was the biggest wind-up merchant out of them all. So it's good fun, you know, and everyone is into the wee corners about it now, but it was all out in the open, and you know, we didn't care about it, to be honest with you. Didn't bother us. Arsenal wanted me to play. It was before Wrighty signed. They asked me before Wrighty, but do you know what? I didn't have to prove myself. I was disillusioned. The only reason I went, Celtic was my club. I grew up watching Celtic, and it was a centenary year. And I thought, if I go up there and do this, it's, you know, everything's. And I think we bought Stuart Robson into the team, and I couldn't play with Stuart because he stopped everything. You know, he was a good player in his own right, but for West Ham he kept stopping things. You know, he was getting the ball and taking too many touches, and then I was getting offside. I'm going, just play it one touch. I play it two. You know, play me through. You can see me running, and so it wasn't as good. You know, so the spark had gone, and it's one of them. But I went to Celtic. I get promised the earth and didn't get it. So I was disillusioned with football, to be honest with you, Russ. I was very. So when I came down to see George Graham. I was saying to winding George up, saying, "What did Tony want? Why did Tony not sign and all that kind of stuff?" So we've always got this wee competition, and he was telling me, and I told him I want a lot more than that and all that kind of stuff. So I had no intentions of signing for Arsenal, not a chance. I knew West Ham were getting relegated. John told me. I knew Arsenal were going to win the league, but there was no comparison for me. There was nothing. It was just. I love West Ham. You know, so it was like coming home.